Hi everybody, it's Richard here again and welcome to another video. Now it's Saturday the 2nd of August 2025 and the record fair came to town, so I went down and I had a look, and to be honest I was a little bit disappointed because it was the same seller selling the same stuff, although I did manage to pick up a couple of vinyl albums and 5 very cheap CDs. But at the end of this I'll show some other pickups from Discogs, etc., just to pad this video out a little bit. And there's a little mini grill which cost me a fortune, but anyway, we'll get to that at the end. So the two albums I picked up, the first one actually for a fiver, and it's Status Quo Live at the NEC. And I've never had this on vinyl. I do have it on CD, and this came out in 1982. And it's actually, I never realised, a die cut sleeve where the NEC comes showing through the little cut piece on the front cover. And it does actually have a nice red inner sleeve, and it's on my favourite Vertigo label, which is the Spaceship label. I think it's very nice indeed. But it's I think this is originally part of the box set that came out from the makers of, I think. But the tracks are Caroline, Roll Over Lay Down, Backwater, Little Lady, Don't Drive My Car, and side 2, Whatever You Want, Hold You Back, Rockin' All Over the World, Over the Age, and Don't Waste My Time. So yeah, glad to get it. It was only a fiver. The other one I picked up was actually a tenner, and I've never seen this before. I think although it did get a record store day release a few years ago, but I didn't pick it up. But I got the soundtrack for Just a Gigolo. Now the reason I wanted this is actually for the David Bowie collection, because it does have David Bowie's Revolutionary song, but it's not done by Bowie. It does have backing vocals, but it's by a band called The Rebels, and I know that single came out on record store day, which I did buy, but I've never had this album. And it has people like Marlene Dietrich with Just a Gigolo. It's got the Manhattan Transfer on it, the Gunther Fischer Orchestra, the Ragtimers, Sydney Rome, and various other ones that I've never actually heard of. But at £10 I thought, why not, because I've been aware of this for years. I remember seeing it in magazines way back in the early 80s when I was collecting Bowie, and it is on the Jambo Records, which I have never heard of, and it is in pretty good condition, so nice to have. How many times I'll play it, I don't know. I'll play it once and I probably won't play it again, but again, for the David Bowie collection, Just a Gigolo. Okay, that's the only two vinyl I bought, and then I bought some CDs. These were all well under a fiver, and the first one up was quite cheap. I think this is the dearest of the lot, £4. It's the Ramones, Pleasant Dreams, and this is the extended version with 7 bonus tracks on it, and it's on the Sire label. I don't have that many Ramones CDs, you know, especially the 80s ones, but you know, I do have this on vinyl and never had it on CD. Next up, I did a video last week saying of bands or artists I have on vinyl but never had on CD, and one was Prince, and I said if I saw any of the Prince hits albums I would pick one up, and I did, and it's Hits 1. This doesn't unfortunately have Kiss on it, but it does have When You Were Mine on it, so I absolutely love. And I have a sneaky feeling this originally came out on a fat box, but it doesn't really matter to me. It takes up less space basically. So glad to get that, and that was about £3. And then Brian Wilson, I just wasn't made for these times. I knew about this album, never had it. It does have Caroline No on it, and Meant For You, Love and Mercy, so I wonder if these are re-recordings or it's just a compilation. But rest in peace Brian Wilson. But yeah, good to see that, and that was about £2. And then this double CD of Marianne Faithfull, the collection. I thought, why not? And I think this is a collection of her 60s material. So I'm going to shove this in the car very shortly and just keep playing it, because I do have another couple of Marianne Faithfull CDs. I never actually play them, but this might get me into her. It would be more the 60s stuff I would prefer anyway, because she went a bit weird in the 70s, as you know. And then lastly, I picked this up just for the fun of it, and I don't really like this group, but I heard Money's Too Tight to Mention on the radio the other day, and I thought it was really good, so I got Simply Red's Greatest Hits, and Money's Too Tight to Mention is on this, thank goodness. I didn't even check in the record fair, but this cost, I think it was £2 as well, so why not? So that's all I got at the record fair. However, I did get some other records, and this one here, carrying on with filling out my Elton John collection of the 2000s, and this was relatively cheap on Amazon, and I thought, why not? It'll only get more expensive. This is The Union with Leon Russell. It's not one of my favourites of his. It's almost a little bit too Americana for me, so this really is a bit of a collection filler, and it's got nice inners. It's a double album, and it's on the black vinyl, and the label is an old-fashioned Mercury label. And let me see what the second disc looks like. Again, nice inner. And it's a slightly different one. Oh, this must be etched because I haven't played it. No, it's not etched. It's a double album. So slightly different colour label of Mercury there, but yeah, pleased to get it, but I say it's really a collection filler. And then we come on to a couple of singles that I got off Discogs. And the first one I've been looking for ages for, and you never see it, and whenever you do see it, it's ridiculously priced. And we're getting into ABBA territory here. And this is Frida, Heart of the Country. It's just one of the singles from her second English singing album, Shine. And this is the one written by Stuart Adamson. And it sounds like a Stuart Adamson Big Country. It sounds like Big Country with Frida singing, and it's really good. And then the B-side of it is Slowly, which is a Benny and Bjorn song, and it's the only Benny and Bjorn song that either of the girls did after ABBA split up, and really delighted to get that. And I noticed from the seller with no extra postage that this was going, and I thought, why not treat myself? And it's like, yeah, a picture disc for The Heat Is On. And the B-side of this is even better. It's a track called Man, which again I wrote herself. It is on her Wrap Around Her Arms Around Me album, but it's an absolutely brilliant track, and so it's just to add to the collection. However, the little Grail, and I did spend a lot of money, I'm not going to say much because I'm ashamed, but I got the little box set for ABBA, the album, the singles, which went with the half-speed master. So in that series, all I'm missing now is the half-speed master itself of the album and the little box of singles for Arrival. There's only 3 singles in this, but delighted to get it. And there's the little hype sticker, which says, if I can read it, 3 times 7-inch singles and coloured vinyl, includes digital download card. And that's the digital download card, which I do not need. And the 3 singles from that album are, first of all, The Name of the Game. Now this was sealed, so I unsealed it, and it's on blue vinyl. The next one is Take a Chance on Me with I'm a Marionette, and these are really heavy singles actually, and it's on like a red vinyl. And then the European single, which should have been released here, and it's Eagle and Thank You for the Music. Now I was never too sure which is the dominant A side in this. I would have thought that it would have been Thank You for the Music, although I do prefer Eagle, but Eagle seems to be listed first, and this is on like a yellowy coloured vinyl. So I'm delighted to get that. I would love to see the Arrival box uh, at a reasonable price. There is on eBay ABBA the album Half Speed Master at not too bad a price, but there's no Obi strip and it's just sitting there, nobody's buying it. You have to have it complete, you have to buy it sealed, so you do. And I noticed even though these were sealed, you're still got a little bit of damage along the edge here, which it doesn't really bother me. You know, that's not the seller's fault, it was sealed, it's just the way it came, and you can't really give it back because these are as rare as hen's teeth now. Okay, so that's my pickups from the record fair plus a few extras. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to have another video quite soon. All the best now. Bye bye.